Alright, so this is 1969, maybe 1970 Colt Trooper Mark III. I've always liked old Colts. I have old Smith & Wessons. I've always really liked old Colts, but I had never shot one before. And I had held them. A lot of times they were expensive, and I've heard that that the timing can go out and this and that, and which it's these guns are very strong. I guess I don't know why. For some reason I thought that they were fragile, or that I just assumed Smith & Wessons were better, and plus these were really expensive. But I'm kind of turned off Smith & Wesson these days. But anyway, this gun's cool, man. I saw it, I picked it up, and that was it. I said, I gotta buy this thing. I bought it from a guy. It was an old cop gun, and he carried it. It's got a lot of holster wear on it, but I got a real good deal on it. Trooper Mark III, 357 Magnum, nice stars on there. This thing is built like a tank, man. Look at this bull barrel on this thing. I mean, it's really cool. It's a really heavy barrel. Look at this. You can see that or not. I'm not pointing the gun at myself, by the way. I'm to the right of the gun. I've got the camera off to the left. But yeah, this thing is really nice. I cleaned it. The lockup is really solid. And it's so smooth, and just it's a really nice gun. I put it in my hand, and I just immediately was trying to buy it from the guy. He had some paint on the front sight, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna embrace that and just paint it white. Only do a good job, a nice clean job. The front sight's got some dings on it, so I could get a new sight maybe. Getting a new extractor. Oh, shoot. Okay, dropped the camera. Got a new extractor rod coming for it. This one's all knurled up. But anyway, he was getting some failure to fires with this thing. The spring is so light. It must be like the lightest spring that you can buy. I mean, it's super light. And he seemed to be concerned, but I told him, well, I'll just get a new spring. I mean, this is super light. I looked up, they make 11-pound spring, a 13-pound, and the stock is 16. So I figure if guys are shooting 11-pound springs, then I'll order the 13-pound. And I'm probably going to order a 16-pound too. Because actually the 13-pound where I ordered, they said it's out of stock. And I told them, well, send me the 16-pound if you don't have the 13-pound. If not, I'll wait. But I haven't heard anything back since. But if I get the 16, I'll probably just cock it, leave it overnight. And two, look, when you're shooting double action, this is something a lot of people don't know about revolvers. Here, watch. Okay, right there, it broke. See how far the hammer's back? When you're shooting double action, the hammer doesn't go back as far as when you're shooting single. So look where it's at in double action. That's where it broke. Let me let it back down. Now watch me cock it in single. Right there is where it was in double, right? When it broke all the way back here. So it goes back further when you're shooting in single action. So when you're shooting in single action, you might not get failure to fires at all. In a self-defense situation, you're going to be shooting double action. A lot of times when people go to the range, they tend to cock the hammer a lot in shooting single action. So that's real important. That's something to be aware of. You got to get out, especially if you start lightening the springs. You got to shoot double action. Make sure that it's going to fire off those rounds. But anyway, this gun appealed to me because I didn't pay a lot for it, and the lockup is solid. It hasn't been shot much. And I kind of like that it's all worn. I can carry it. And And I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to feel guilty about holster wear. And I'm gonna carry this thing, man. This thing is really cool. I'm totally gonna carry it. It's so neat. I already carried it in the shoulder holster just inside, and yeah, it's gonna be a good carry gun. I'm here in Illinois. We haven't got our permits yet, but we're gonna be getting them in the mail. Concealed carry permits here, and I have Pennsylvania concealed carry, and I've carried when I'm down south, but you'll be able to carry this for sure. And check out the pony. I don't know if you can see it. It's really detailed. It's not going to show well enough. But when you look at it close, you can actually see the little batons. It's holding one in its mouth and it's holding one in its hand. Paw, hoof, whatever your horse has. But it's really detailed. This is just a really nice old gun. And man, I tell you what, dude, this thing is smooth. I mean, it's no joke. I might become a Colt fanboy because Smith & Wesson's really sucking these days. Their quality's gone down. Look at their recessed cylinders. I should have brought some rounds to show you. But Smith & Wesson, you know, they're still pretty good, but they're not like the old guns. So, you know, I just don't have as much pride in that name. Whereas you got a Colt. You know, Colt's not making any garbage. Colt still makes guns. They make nice guns. And cylinders go clockwise on these. That's pretty cool too. The reasoning to that is it's not putting force against the you know, the arm. You know, when it's rotating, it's going towards the direction of the hinge and everything. It's not constantly putting force the other way. Which, does that really matter? I don't know, but it probably isn't a big deal, but just out of common sense and just logic, it makes more sense to have it going clockwise. And I tell you what, this latch going backwards serves a purpose too. You open up and the whole thing comes in or out. So every time you close the cylinder, there's not metal on metal. You can go like that and close it and then put the latch back. So there's some little things like that about Colt that I always knew. But, and I tell you what, I took this all apart, took the plate off, and took it all apart. And it's pretty easy to disassemble. It's easier than a Smith & Wesson. And I always thought it'd be the opposite. Look at that flat black on the... See these sights. The sights are pretty sick, man. Fully adjustable. The sights are really nice. Fully adjustable, and they got markings on them that it'll tell you which way and up. I mean, I would know anyway, but it's got real intricate writing. You can't see it with the camera. But it's just a really nice gun for not a lot of money for what I paid for it. Now, these do go for a decent amount. You know, if you can find them. And where I live in Illinois, around Chicago, so guns are more expensive here. You guys down south, or you can go to Kentucky or something, you're going to find stuff cheaper. Probably about half the prices up here in Chicago. Guns are expensive up here. It's just the way it is. But I bought this from a private party, and we did all the paperwork off the Illinois State Police. And called in the FOID cards and everything, so that's how you gotta do it. But man, it's such a bad mode. Look at that. There's that bull barrel. And it's heavy, but like I said, I mean, I carried it in a shoulder holster around the house and with my shirt over it, and you could conceal it. So this is gonna be a nice little shooter. I mean, I'm gonna shoot this thing a lot. I'm gonna shoot it a lot, and it could definitely handle it. This thing's a tank. And man, it fits me like a glove. I got real big hands, and a lot of times when I'm shooting, my finger, you know, it's got such a fat grip on this thing. Look at this. That I actually can, you see my fingers on the trigger. A lot of times when I'm shooting, my fingers like this, because the guns are so small and the grips are so small. But man, this thing is just like a dream, fits my hand. So Man, this is going to be a real nice shooter. And now I've already taken it apart. If something breaks or something, I know how to work on it. So that's the thing, you know, you get a Python, you're going to feel guilty about shooting it. You're going to go put 357 Magnum rounds through your Python, you're going to feel guilty, you know. Or like a real nice Smith, I mean, you feel bad like you're abusing the gun, like it's going to crack. Because old Smiths do crack. They can. And 357 Magnum ain't no joke. That's for sure. But man, isn't this thing just beautiful? And I love that it's worn. I mean, like I said, I don't have to feel guilty. I'm going to use it. And I might look for another one now. Find another old cop gun. So, yeah, man. That's it. Pretty neat, man. Pretty neat. I could get them new springs and that new ejector rod, and this thing gonna be set. And I'm probably gonna leave the old sight. It needs a new sight. It's got dings on it, but I'll probably just leave it since it's dinged up and just paint it. And I won't feel guilty about painting, because if I put a new one, I probably wouldn't paint it. So I'll probably paint it and leave the white, maybe even red. So, yeah, man, this is totally, I'm like really, I might become a Colt fanboy now. Go and give me some old Colts. Alright, catch you guys later.